This is case 1, and this is another example of a tubular adenoma with misplaced epithelium. So let's look at the epithelium. We have 4 profiles to work with. It's definitely an adenoma, tall, hyperchromatic, stratified epithelium compared to the adjacent normal mucosa. Here's the normal mucosa, or at least normal crypts. All of that is adenoma. There's a huge bubble, and this is the case. This is the focus that is of concern. The first thing I'd say is there's continuity. You can actually demonstrate continuity between what's going on here on the top and what's going on here with the misplaced epithelium. It's right adjacent to these big thick wall vessels, so this is definitely in the submucosa. The other thing that's helpful on low power is instead of irregular glands that you would see in the invasive adenocarcinoma, this appears very well circumscribed, so round to oval profiles. Bushing invasion is sometimes seen, but it's very uncommon. It's accompanied by lamina propria, which is a helpful feature. There's also a lot of hemosiderin deposition here, and that's another feature of misplaced epithelium. By and large, the epithelium on the surface looks quite similar to the epithelium down here in the submucosa. However, I will admit that this is much more atypical. This is mucosa, and the submucosa is much more atypical. So there are almost areas that border on a high-grade dysplasia, and if you want to call this intramucosal adenocarcinoma. So anything that happens on the surface can also happen within the misplaced epithelium. And so these cases are somewhat troublesome. You can see this is clearly high-grade dysplasia. When you have high-grade dysplasia developing in misplaced epithelium, people do get concerned far more often. In fact, we had so much trouble that we did send it out to a group of experienced pathologists, and all of whom agreed with us that this is adenoma with misplaced epithelium. This is fibrosis. This isn't classic desmoplasia. Here's a vessel here, but I would agree with you that sometimes it is hard to define where fibrosis ends and desmoplasia begins. But this is an adenoma with misplaced epithelium. Again, this was in the sigmoid colon. Notice how beautifully pedunculated this polyp is, and the margin is cauterized and ink, which makes it very, very helpful.